the ceremony. At 3:20, when the academic procession will enter the room, I will once again request all of you to rise. Welcome to AIMA's 28th convocation. Please rise and remain standing. Entering the hall is the academic procession comprising of the Controller of Examination, faculty members, AIMA directors, members of Board of Studies, members of Council, past presidents, Director CME officiating, Director General, Chairman Board of Studies, Mr. D. Shivakumar, past President AIMA, and the chief guest in this order. All in the auditorium are requested to remain standing till the President, Chief Guest, and the members of procession have taken their respective seats. May I request the dignitaries to kindly take their seats. May I now take the pleasure of introducing to you the dignitaries on the dais. We have on dais Mr. Vikram Chandra, founder, Editorji Technologies, Mr. D. Shivakumar, past President AIMA, operating partner Advent International, and former chairperson PepsiCo India, Dr. Bhimaraya Maitri, Chairman Board of Studies, Director IIM Nagpur, Ms. Rekha Sethi, Director General AIMA, Dr. Ganesh Singh, Director Center for Management Education. Now I request the dignitaries on the dais to light the ceremonial lamp while the invocation song is played to seek the blessings of Goddess Saraswati. May I request our Director General to please deliver her introductory remarks, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Vikram Chandra, founder, Editorji Technologies, Shiv Shivakumar, past president of AIMA, operating partner, Advent International Private Equity, and former chairman, PepsiCo India. Dr. Maitri, chairman of the Board of Studies, AIMA, and director, IIM Nagpur. Dr. Ganesh Singh, director, AIMA CME, AIMA faculty members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and the most important people today, students. It's a pleasure to have you all with us, and thank you so much for joining us on a special day at AIMA's 28th convocation. Vikram, it's a great pleasure to have you with us today, and many thanks for agreeing to our invitation to be the chief guest on this very important occasion for AIMA. You're an icon and a great role model for the young people. You're also a renowned television personality, author, and new media entrepreneur, and we are happy to have you with us to present the AIMA students their credentials. A very warm welcome to you. Shiv, it is a privilege to have you with us, and many thanks for agreeing to deliver the welcome address of this convocation. You are among the foremost exponents of management in the country, and you have not only set a great example for business excellence, you have also shaped the thinking of young managers with your lectures and books. You have been very generous with your time for AIMA, and you have never shied away from an opportunity to share your experience and ideas with those associated with AIMA, especially young students and people. You've had a stellar career in management across your stints at Hindustan Lever, Philips, Nokia, PepsiCo, AV Birla Group, and now with Advent International. Thank you so much for joining us, and a very warm welcome to you. Dr. Maitri, it's always a pleasure to have you with us, and thank you so much for your presence here today. Your leadership of AIMA's Board of Studies is the key to maintaining high standards of education. You're also doing a stellar job at the IIM Nagpur after a great stint at IIM Trichy. A warm welcome to you. We also have many distinguished members of the AIMA Council and Board of Studies with us today. I can see Mr. Kalra, I saw Mr. Mukesh. It's great to have you all with us today, and thank you so much for joining us. The AIMA Board of Studies plays a critical role in shaping AIMA's educational activities and ensuring that the curriculum and the delivery are always current and relevant. It is great to have you on this occasion. I would also like to acknowledge my colleague, Dr. Ganesh Singh, Officiating Director, AIMA Center for Management Education, and other members of the AIMA faculty who continue to put in extraordinary effort in delivering management education of high standard. The convocation is also an occasion to acknowledge distinguished individuals who have made outstanding contribution to management, and today we are awarding AIMA fellowships to some special management thought leaders. Mr. P. Balaji and Mr. Tejpal Batla, it is a privilege to have you as AIMA Fellows, and thank you so much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, AIMA's education efforts are rooted in its mission to democratize management learning and making it accessible to all, irrespective of their location or resources. AIMA introduced the postgraduate management education by distance mode in the country almost 4 decades ago, and each year it has expanded the country's management talent pool by a very large number of graduates. Even during COVID, AIMA has managed to educate nearly 1,000 students each year. This year too, AIMA is awarding credentials to over 900 students despite the disruptions and delays in the academic year. The convocation is the most satisfying day of the year for AIMA. It gives us a great sense of achievement to contribute another batch of graduates to India's management talent pool. Today, we endow our students with doctorates, diplomas, and certificates that will not only open new career opportunities for them, but also open new possibilities for the country's economy. Dear students, many congratulations to each one of you on completing your academic program and receiving your credentials. You've acquired specialized know-how which would go a long way in raising your ability and improving your opportunities. In qualifying for your diplomas and certificates, you have proved that you have what it takes to grasp knowledge and acquire prized professional skills. However, education is only one part of your ability. Your attitude, values, and strategy will play equally important roles in determining where you go, how far you go in your career. While contemporary education gives you a start in the world, the world keeps moving forward, and that requires you to acquire new learning and credentials throughout your career. It is important for you to constantly map your knowledge, skills, and choice of sector to the shifts in the economy. You must not leave your career to your organization entirely and constantly invest in yourselves. While you would become an expert in certain things on the job, you will need to keep up with the broader trends by enrolling for the latest courses and joining interest-specific networks. I urge you to ensure that you keep your knowledge and skills current at all times, and I would welcome you back at AIMA whenever you require to upgrade or update your management know-how. While income and status are basic motivations for acquiring specialized knowledge and qualifications, there is more to career and life than these things. It is useful to have a larger purpose, something that will give meaning to your work, something that will make you passionate about your job and your organization. Sustainable success comes only when one looks after others and integrates one's interests with the interests of the society at large. You can turn success into greatness by looking beyond your own income and status and focusing on improving lives of others around you. I hope that you get rich, famous, and powerful in your lives, but I also hope that you do so responsibly, with integrity and ethics. I congratulate all of you and wish you the very best to all of you for your future. I urge you to join the AIMA Alumni Network. An organization is as good as its alumni. An institution which I hope you have studied in and are fond of, so I hope to welcome you all back. You have done AIMA proud, and it's with these best wishes I say thank you to all of you for being with us today and wish you all the very best as you go on into a new form and a new phase of your life. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I request Mr. D. Shivakumar, past President AIMA, to declare the convocation open on behalf of the President AIMA and deliver the welcome address, please.
I declare the convocation open on behalf of the President AIMA. Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, the graduating students at the 28th Convocation of AIMA. I've been on this stage, thanks to Rekha inviting me many times across many years. And it's a proud privilege always to be here on your special day. Okay, I'll possibly take a few minutes to give you my thoughts on what you could be doing, what you should be looking for in the coming years. Number one, as you step out, India is a very different India compared to 10 years ago or even 20 years ago. For the first time, India has a unique combination of being both a soft power and a hard power. Okay? India always had soft power. India's music, India's food, India's movies, India's cricket has always given it soft power over years, not today, over the last 30 years. You go to Russia, people will talk about Raj Kapoor's Awara. You go to Europe, people will talk about Shah Rukh Khan and all his movies. You go to Japan, people talk about Rajnikant. Okay, so you have all our stars across the world being very popular, and that's always given a soft power. Today, thanks to us being somewhere close to a $3.5 trillion economy, we are one of the top 6 economies, and that gives us hard power too. We are one of the few economies growing at 5 to 6% per annum. Don't sneer at 5 to 6. Only, I think, 5 countries have grown at 5% per annum or more for 50 years. Only 5. India has grown at 5% or more for 40 years. So 5 is nothing to be sneered at. A lot of media will tell you there is 7, 8, etc. But 5 is solid growth. It's very good growth for an economy which is $3.5 trillion. So we also have hard power. So it's not a surprise that a lot of people are looking to India and saying, what is India going to do? What India is going to do will always rest on obviously the industrialists, people who are investors, plus people such as yourselves, people who are coming to the workforce, people who will do something out there in each company. As you step out, I want to give you, 5 thoughts for you to think about. The first is, today is the culmination of formal education. But in a world which is changing very quickly, where concepts in management, concepts in marketing, concepts in digital are changing almost every 6 to 12 months. Okay, you need self-education more than formal education. Formal education is the foundation, so the foundation is there. You have to build a skyscraper on it. You have to add floor after floor of capabilities and learning. So don't think formal education will see you through life. It's self-education which is more important today than formal education, irrespective of the degree you do. I've looked at every single big discipline in the country. What you require today is a lot of self-education at any stage in your career, whether you're starting out, you're a middle manager or a senior manager. Okay? If you do not self-educate yourself, you're going to be challenged in terms of progressing in your career. That's my first message. The second message I have is money. Everybody talks of money. Okay? Everybody wants, a packet which is there in the newspaper, this, that, etc. Okay? Money is very important. Don't get me wrong. Money is very important to run your household, to meet your aspiration, etc. But never be a slave to money in the sense that you take loans to fund your lifestyle. The moment you start taking loans to fund your lifestyle, okay, that is when it's going to hit you. Because many a time you cannot pay back your loans. So what happened in South America to many a country will happen to many a manager if he or she lives beyond their means. So I would say you must have a good lifestyle. Money is very important, but not so important that you give yourself tension by living on a very high EMI. Don't do that. Okay, that's my second lesson for you. My third one for you is tenure in a company. Everybody talks of, how long should I stay? Today, I was just reading some data. We have 60 million startups. The attrition in startups is 45%. 45%. There are 120 million people employed in MSMEs. So, 60 million people are leaving their jobs every year in the startup ecosystem. In the IT services industry, it's between 25 and 30%. Somehow it's fashionable to say, I have worked in 6 companies in 5 years. But trust me, somewhere it will catch you. You know why? Working in 6 companies in 5 years is not going to add to your capability or depth of analysis or reasoning or decision making. It cannot. So I would seriously urge you, wherever you join, give that company 3 to 4 years. I've always been a, minimum 5 years kind of a, company. I've spent long years in Hindustan Lever, long years in Nokia, etc. You have to give the company enough time for you to judge whether the company is fair to you, for the company to judge whether you're performing or not and contributing to the company. Vikram has spent more than 2 decades in the company that he's been in. Okay, so please ensure, for heaven's sake, that you give yourself a chance and your company a chance to do their best for you. Okay, if you're there for a year, okay, a career is not switching platforms. You can't get down in Santa Cruz, get up in Bandra, get down somewhere else. It doesn't work like that. Okay, so please give yourself time in your first job. A lot of people ask me, what should I focus on as I go forward in a career? I give you 5 C's because everybody is talking about ChatGPT, which is the 6th C, and everybody is worried. Will ChatGPT take away my job? Will this happen, etc.? From all the research that I have looked at, all the studies that I have seen, there are 5 C's which are important. 3 hard C's, 2 soft C's. The first hard C is, critical thinking. Irrespective of what happens in the world, irrespective of any industry, you need critical thinking skills. And I think your formal education has developed some part of that. You need to continue on that journey. The second, in a complex world, you need complex problem solving skills. So critical thinking, complex problem solving is number 2 C. Third C is creativity. Because today, the war is not about brand versus brand, country versus country, it's business model versus business model. So you really need to be creative in charting a new business model in order to reach the goods or services to the consumer. Those are the 3 hard C's. Okay, critical thinking, complex problem solving, creativity. The next two are absolutely critical and actually determine progress in an organization. One is collaboration. You have to collaborate in teams. There is no chance, even if you are a solo player in a function called legal, even if you are a solo player in a function called something, okay, you have to collaborate. So collaboration will be key, and collaboration is something which your organization and your industry will reward you for. So collaborate as much as you can. No man is an island, no woman is an island. You cannot work on your own. After the fourth C is the fifth C, another soft skill, which is communication. Everybody, and this is the sin we have, because we have so much television going on, all of us are armchair critics. We think we know what to say. But trust me, try and be simple in your communication. And my simple test for communication is, can you, whatever the topic is, let's take tomorrow the topic is, I don't know, the Ukraine-Russia war. Can you explain that to a 6th grader who's 11 years old in simple language? Can you explain any concept to your grandmother? If you can do that, you're damn good at it. That is what good communication is. Just blabbering and saying a lot of things is not communication. Being articulate is not communication. You have to communicate. People must remember. People must understand. People must fathom where you're coming from. Okay, so please do that. So those are the 5 C's: critical thinking skills, complex problem solving, creativity. On the softer side, collaboration and communication. Okay, that's what I would say for you. The last one, before I end with one note, is that leadership is a journey. And I can tell you, there are many times in my career, I've seen many highs, many lows. Okay, the low should not worry you. The high should not make you arrogant. Okay, both are important. I'm happy to see Balaji has walked in here. Okay, he took over from me in Nokia. So, leadership is a journey. The journey is the reward. The title is not the reward. The money is not the reward. The learning as you go through the leadership journey is the true reward. Each day has a context to it. Each day there are leadership lessons from that context. And you must understand that. I've yet to see any good leader who said, I know it all. Because tomorrow you get caught out with a new situation and a new context. It's that natural. Okay, so leadership is a journey, and the journey is the reward, and leadership always exists in a context. It's not in a vacuum. Okay, I'm sure that there are some students here. Any parents and relatives of the students here? Any parents, relatives sitting anywhere in the audience? Will you please stand up, please? Whoever the parents, relatives, whoever have come, please stand up. All of you. Nice to see so many of you. That's very good. Excellent. So a big round of applause for all of them. Thank you for coming and really encouraging the students here. Please sit down. So as you go through your journey, many people will have many expectations of you, many hopes pinned on you. Your parents, your relatives, your friends, your classmates, your bosses, your companies. All I would say is, don't let them down. Okay? Do your very best, and I'm sure all of you will have a great career ahead. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All India Management Association awards fellowships on outstanding management professionals with illustrious management career and significant contribution to the management profession to their credit outside their sphere of employment. Today, AIMA will confer this honor on Mr. P. Balaji, Chief Regulatory and Corporate Affairs, Vodafone Idea Limited, and Mr. Tej Pal Patla, Senior Vice President and Head Public Service Business India Tata Consultancy Services. May I request the Chief Guest, Mr. Vikram Chandra, Mr. D. Shivakumar, Past President AIMA, Chairman BOS, Director General, and Director CME to confer the fellowship on them. I request Mr. P. Balaji to please join us on the dais. Mr. P. Balaji, Chief Regulatory and Corporate Affairs, Vodafone India Limited. May I now invite Mr. Tejpal Patla, Senior Vice President and Head Public Service Business India, Tata Consultancy Services. Thank you, sirs and ma'am. May I request Director CME to present the candidates to be felicitated upon their successful completion of PhD in Business Administration.
PhD Business Administration program was started in January 2000 in collaboration with Aligarh Muslim University. We will be felicitating the 14 PhD awardees who have successfully completed their research and have been awarded the PhD degree by Aligarh Muslim University during the academic year 2022-23. May I request the chief guest, Mr. D. Sivakumar, past President AIMA, Chairman BOS, and Director General to felicitate the PhD awardees.
I request PhD awardees to come on the dais as their names are announced. Dr. Ruchi Payal. Dr. Pradeep Prabhakar Pai. Dr. Vishal Gandhi. Dr. Andidita Moitra. Dr. Manpreet Kaur Uppal. Dr. Shikha Sharma. Dr. Sumit Kumar Pundi. Dr. Sameer B. Kolte. Dr. Adil Vakil, Dr. Rajib Datta, Dr. Sunil Meshram, Dr. Kausar Soraya Qureshi, Dr. Mohammad Atif, Irshad Khan, and Dr. Vaibhav Garg are felicitated in absentia. Thank you, sirs and ma'am. May I request Dr. Bhimarai Maitri, Chairman Board of Studies, to present the CME report, please.
Mr. Vikram Chandra, Honorable Chief Guest, Founder, Editor, G Technologies, Mr. D. Shivakumar, Past President AIMA, Operating Partner, Advent International Private Equity, and former Chairman, PepsiCo, Ms. Rekha Sethi, Director General AIMA, Dr. Ganesh Singh, Director Officiating, Center for Management Education, Member of AIMA Council, Member of AIMA Board of Studies, AIMA faculty, students, and eminent guests. I am delighted to be with you here today, and it is my privilege to present the report of AIMA Center for Management Education for the year 2022-23. Before I proceed with the report, I would like to thank the AIMA faculty members whose dedicated and tireless efforts have been instrumental in making the life-changing accomplishment possible for all the students. I extend my sincere appreciation to each faculty members for their invaluable contributions and for sharing their knowledge with the students. Let me take this opportunity to provide you with update on remarkable progress of the Center for Management Education and its recent initiative aimed at promoting management learning at all levels. To start with, I am pleased to share that AIMA has received an extension of approval to offer the postgraduate diploma and certificate program in open and distance learning mode for the academic year 23-24 from the All India Council for Technical Education, Ministry of Education, Government of India. During the year, AIMA Center for Management Education continued to deliver high-quality distance management education in blended learning mode through e-learning, personal contact classes, and workshops. Additionally, AIMA CME took significant strides in enhancing its core programs by introducing new educational initiatives. By leveraging technology and adhering to the regulatory standards and guidelines set forth by NEP 2020, the center prioritized the enrichment of the students' learning experiences. Keeping in view the changing needs and requirement of the industry, AIMA successfully launched new age certificate programs in sustainability management, corporate social responsibility, social enterprise management, waste management, and social entrepreneurship. Digital business management, digital innovation and transformation for enterprises, cyber security and data privacy, and design thinking for business innovation. The response from the industry professionals has been quite positive, reflecting the relevance and value of these programs. In addition, AIMA CME is launched a new short-term management course on reboarding women for senior level positions in organizations, ESG, role transition for managers, and several others. To strengthen the quality education, AIMA is taking significant strides in enhancing faculty teaching effectiveness by launching certificate program for management educators, aimed at empowering educators to excel in their teaching practices. In 2018, AIMA established India Case Research Center, ICRC, with primary goal for producing and disseminating industry-based India-centric management cases. We are pleased to announce that the Case Center has developed a strong archive of over 100 cases meticulously prepared in accordance with the ICRC guidelines. All these cases have been published Casepedia, the journal of ICRC. Over the time, AIMA India Case Research Center has fostered robust collaboration with esteemed institutions like IIMs, ISB, and several other premier business schools. The ICRC portal now hosts cases from these prestigious partners, enabling global dissemination. Till date, the center has trained more than 2,000 faculty members through various capacity building case workshops to develop quality cases. ICRC has also signed MOCs with prominent institutions such as Hong Kong University Asian Case Research Center, the European Foundation for Management Development, the Case Center UK, AICTE, ADMISA, in an endeavor to create impactful case studies. Further, in the area of research, AIMA has awarded with prestigious research study on readiness and interest of organization for adopting emerging technology like AI and ML by the Department of Science and Industrial Research, Ministry of Science and Technology. The study is based on the responses from 200 organizations including MNCs, PSUs, MSMEs. The report will be submitted to the ministry in this month. Continuing with the mandate of upskilling management professionals, AIMA hosted numerous workshops and training programs covering wide array of topics throughout the year, benefiting the more than 5,000 professionals from diverse fields. Key subjects included leadership, mentoring, service excellence, lean management, ethics in business, analytics for decision making, artificial intelligence and machine learning, retail skills and others. Additionally, AIMA delivered customized training to cater to specific needs of various esteemed organizations including RBI, GAIL, Power Grid, Translational Health Science and Technology Institute, Bharat Electronics Limited, Gujarat Infrastructure Development Board, Center for Development of Telematics, NHPC, Maruti Udyog Limited, National Fertilizer Limited, and Lifestyle, the Home Center. AIMA has also conducted several collaborative training programs during the period. With the technical support of the World Bank, AIMA organized a 3-day training program on contract management and alternative dispute resolution in the month of September 2022 and February 2023. Additionally, AIMA and the World Bank jointly conducted 5-day training program on green public procurement to promote sustainable practices. As an official training partner of Government e-Marketplace, AIMA also organized an online training program on GEM in June 2022 at New Delhi. As a new initiative, AIMA organized first summit on transforming academic institution under the chairmanship of Dr. Rajendra Srivastav, Novartis Professor of Marketing Strategy and Innovation and Executive Director, Center for Business Innovation and Executive Fellow Program in Management, ISB. The summit was designed for academic leaders and stakeholders in managing higher education enterprises. The summit catered the academic leaders and stakeholders managing higher education enterprises with the representation from over 50 universities and B schools. The desired outcome of the summit is the forthcoming publication of the Transforming Academic Institutions Vision Paper 2030 by AIMA, followed by a series of faculty development programs as well as academic institution building and transformation initiatives, which will benefit numerous B schools and higher education institutions in India. Furthermore, AIMA and National Institute of Education Planning and Administration, NUPA, co-hosted a national workshop on sustaining industry-academia linkages, processes and practice in New Delhi in February 2023. Over 50 senior personnel from higher education sector and experts from industry and academia participated in the workshop. AIMA's Vice Chancellor Council continues to act as a platform for senior management educationists and corporate thought leaders to come together, work together towards the transformation of management education in the nation. To deliver into diverse aspects of the regulatory framework for foreign university operations and explore the challenges related to internationalization of higher education, AIMA's Vice Chancellor Council organized an online panel discussion in March 2023. The discussion was led by Dr. Rajan Saxena, Chairman, AIMA VCC, and attended by many renowned academicians and professionals. AIMA VCC also organized an online session on the theme of generative AI in classroom learning in June 2023. The session aimed to explore the vast potential of generative artificial intelligence in revolutionizing the education industry. In the area of consultancy, AIMA has collaborated with Deloitte for implementation of contract with Government of Rajasthan. As a part of this collaboration, AIMA has undertaken the responsibility of providing consultancy for capacity development on Rajasthan Transparency in Public Procurement Act and rules. AIMA has also signed the agreement with Management Sciences for Health to undertake project titled Capacity Development and Training on Contract Management to National TB Elimination Program, National Health Mission officials. This assignment falls under the Health Systems for TB project funded by United States Agency for International Development. To bolster the Government of India's endeavor during the G20 presidency, AIMA successfully organized its 12th MSME convention on the theme G20 MSME Progress by Innovation and Collaboration in Mumbai, February 2023. The convention garnered immense appreciation and saw significant turnout of delegates from various parts of the country. AIMA furthered its commitment to empowering women by collaborating with the Ministry of Women and Child Development, the nodal ministry for the G20 Empower initiative. In this partnership, AIMA contributed some of the courses in the domain of digital and financial literacy in the G20 Empower Digital Inclusion Platform for Women. Following the resounding success of AIMA's Global Procurement Summit since 2016, AIMA organized the 8th edition of Summit in 2023 with the support of Government of India, the World Bank and Asian Development Bank. The engaging two-day summit witnessed participation of delegates from 8 nations. Despite the various challenges, the Center for Management Education had a highly productive year, and I wholeheartedly congratulate the team for their perseverance and dedication. Each new batch of students bringing a fresh responsibility to groom qualified professionals contributing to the nation development. I am confident CME will excel as a nation builder. Congratulations to all graduates and best wishes for their careers. I am sure they will bring laurels to their organization through their achievements and contributions. Their success reflects the dedication of faculty and staff, reaffirming CME's commitment to sharing competent and accomplishment professionals. Here is to a bright future and continued excellence. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Mr. D. Shivakumar, past President AIMA, to award diplomas and certificates to the candidates, please.
As authorized by the President of the All India Management Association, I award you the Postgraduate Certificate in Management, Professional Certificate in Management, and Professional Diploma in Public Procurement, and charge you to be worthy of the qualification that you have earned.
Will the candidates for postgraduate diploma in management and postgraduate diploma in information technology management please rise? Sir, I present to you 352 candidates of postgraduate diploma in management and postgraduate diploma in information technology management whose names are given in the list, including in absentia, who have successfully completed the program and have been found qualified for the award of the postgraduate diploma in management and postgraduate diploma in information technology management. I request that diploma be awarded to them.
Yeah. I'd repeat, as authorized by the President of All India Management Association, I award you the Postgraduate Certificate in Management, Professional Certificate in Management, and Professional Diploma in Public Procurement, and charge you to be worthy of the qualification that you have earned.
Will the candidates for postgraduate certificate in management, post-professional certificate in management, and professional diploma in public procurement please rise? Sir, I present to you 447 candidates of postgraduate certificate in management, professional certificate in management, and professional diploma in public procurement, whose names are given in the list, including in absentia, who have successfully completed the programs and have been found qualified for the award of the diplomas and the certificates. I request that diploma and certificate be awarded to them.
Yeah, as authorized by the President of the All India Management Association, I award you the postgraduate certificate in management, professional certificate in management, and professional diploma in public procurement, and charge you to be worthy of the qualification that you have earned.
Will the candidates for advanced certificate in business consulting, certificate program in contract dispute resolution, and certificate program in public-private partnership please rise? Sir, I present to you 85 candidates of advanced certificate in business consulting, certificate program in contract dispute resolution, and certificate program in public-private partnership, whose names are given in the list, including in absentia, who have successfully completed the programs and have been found qualified for award of certificates. I request that certificate be awarded to them.
As authorized by the President of the All India Management Association, I award you the Advanced Certificate in Business Consulting, Certificate Program in Contract Dispute Resolution, and Certificate Program in Public-Private Partnership, and charge you to be worthy of the qualification that you have earned.
AIMA recognizes meritorious graduates who top the PGDM, PGDITM, and PGCM in each batch by awarding medals. I request the Chief Guest, Mr. D. Shivakumar, Past President AIMA, Chairman BOS, Director General, and Director CME, to award the gold medals to the meritorious students. Now I request the gold medalists to come on the dais one by one. First, I would like to call upon Shivani. Shivani stood first in postgraduate diploma in management in the batch of January 2020 and has been awarded the AIMA's gold medal. Navneet Sharma. Navneet, who stood first in postgraduate diploma in management in the batch of July 2020 and has been awarded the AIMA's gold medal. Rig Ghosh. Rig, who stood first in postgraduate diploma executive in the batch of January 2021 and has been awarded the AIMA's gold medal. Priyanka A. Priyanka, who stood first in postgraduate certificate in management in the batch of January 2022 and has been awarded the AIMA's gold medal. Rig Ghosh, once again. Rig Ghosh, being the overall topper of batch 2020, has been awarded The gold medal sponsored by AIMA Alumni Association. Thank you, sirs and ma'am. It's an honor for me to introduce the chief guest, Mr. Vikram Chandra. Mr. Chandra is the founder of Editorji Technologies, a startup that seeks to transform video news through innovation in user experience using artificial intelligence. Editorji provides personalized video newscasts on mobile phones and can be downloaded at editorji.com/download. In his earlier avatar, Mr. Chandra was one of India's best-known TV anchor, presenting shows like The Big Fight, 9 o'clock news, and Gadget Guru together with programs for social transformation such as Clinathon, Grinathon, and Save Our Tigers. He has helped pioneer innovations such as news on mobile phones, the live streaming of video on the internet, and the first major news app in India. Vikram has been named Global Leader for Tomorrow by the World Economic Forum in Davos and has won the Indian Television Academy Award for Best Anchor for a Talk Show, the Hero Honda Award for Best Anchor Person, and the Teachers Achievement Award for Communication, along with featuring in top 20 on the impact list on the Digital Power 100. He was educated at Oxford University and St. Stephen's College before attending the Mass Media Institute at Stanford University. May I request Mr. Vikram Chandra to please deliver his convocation address.
Mr. D. Shiv Kumar, Rekha Sethi, Dr. Ganesh Singh, Dr. Maitri, members of the IMA Council, members of the faculty, all the students. First of all, many congratulations for all of you who've got your diplomas and your PhDs and your other awards today. Profound congratulations from me. And thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for calling me here. Rekha, I've been a great admirer of AIMA for a very long period of time. I get a chance, thanks to AIMA, to learn a lot about the world and to see parts of the world on occasions when AIMA takes us for trips. And that really has brought me to the full realization and appreciation of what I really want to talk to you about. And that, we heard about 5 C's earlier from Mr. Shiv Kumar. I want to talk to you about another C, the 6th C, change, and the importance of change, and the dramatic nature of the change that we are now seeing all around us, and what it takes to fully master that change, embrace that change, appreciate that change, leverage that change, and take advantage for it. Because the rate of change is so fast now that if you don't fully embrace change at all times, then you're going to be left behind and you're going to struggle. And that also means that the formal education that we were hearing earlier, that all of you have done so well at, is only the first step. You're going to need to change faster. You're going to need to learn faster. You're going to have to educate yourself faster. And it's going to be the next 10 years or 15 years are going to be some of the most dramatic years in human history. So much so that I sometimes feel that what you really require to be successful is not just those 5 C's and the embracing of change, which is the 6th C, but a 7th C, a crystal ball, to be able to sort of look a little bit into the future and try and see what is happening. And over the next 10, 15, 20 minutes, I'm going to share with you a few examples from my life, where essentially what I have tried to do is look 5 years in the future. 5 years or 6 years in the future, sometimes a little longer. And that becomes really important, because if you are trying to, in a world that's changing as fast as we are changing right now, if you try to say, oh, I'm going to do this because this is what is working right now, 5 years from now or 10 years from now, that will almost definitely not be true. So you've got to have that crystal ball and you've got to gaze into it and you've got to try and predict the future or take the best guess of it and try and position yourself that by the time your career and your trajectory has taken this path and the world has changed so much, you will be roughly in the right place at the right time. And if you can do that once or twice in your life, you will be really lucky. But I just want to talk, before I go into those examples that I was talking about, I just want to talk a little bit more about the dramatic nature of the change that we are seeing. Look, I mean, there are lots of great blogs in this. You get a chance, Wait But Why and others have got very accessible blogs which are explaining the nature of change in human society and why it's a process of acceleration that's happening. The acceleration happening so fast that it's called an exponential curve. So it's flat, 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 then it starts to take off, then it starts to take off, then it starts to take off, and then it becomes almost vertical. And then change happens and so fast that you miss it for a year or two and then you don't realize what's happening. I'll give you an example. If you look back at the change that happened between human society, at the time of Nalanda University to Alexandria University to, 300 AD to what is happening in 600 AD, 900 AD, if you would come back 200 years later, let's say you took a time machine, went off somewhere and came back 200 years later, would the world be dramatically different? No, it's still more or less the same. Ghar bhi waise hi hai, cattle are somewhere, horse hai, you're fighting wars using bows and arrows or spears and swords. Okay, slightly better sword has come. But nothing dramatic that has happened. 200 years, 300 years, nothing dramatic has changed. And then if you look at how, as history is rolling on, 1500 comes, 1600 comes, it starts to become a little bit faster. Now you come back 50 years later, bhai, kuch to change hua hai, I can notice a certain amount of change, but it's still not that dramatic. When you come to the 19th century and the 20th century, now every 30 years or 40 years, you can't recognize the world anymore. Somebody from 1850 suddenly came to the world of 1910. And you're saying, what is happening suddenly? What is this electricity? What are those horseless vehicles that are running around? 10 years later, what do you mean you can fly? Who told you can fly? It's not possible to fly, but then there are people flying. And then 30 years later, something else is happening dramatically. What is going to happen in this century and what we are seeing around us is that same process of change now happening faster and faster. And in the next 10 years or 15 years, as I said, there are at least 5 or 6 major technologies that are all going to suddenly mature and are suddenly going to come to fruition. And by the way, I was saying this 6 years ago in a crystal ball. I remember once that I was giving a talk somewhere very similar to this, about 6 years ago. And I said, 5 or 6 years later, the world is going to change. And when I was to talk about my business, media, I said, look how much it's going to change. And people used to say, why do you think it's going to change so much? I said, OTT will come in, streaming will come in, AI will come in, XYZ will come in. People say, हाँ भाई हमारे lifetime में तो नहीं होगा, कभी हो जाएगा. But look at it, it's happening. And now look at the next 5 or 6 years. What is going to happen? AI we're already seeing. 1 year ago, if I had stood out here and told you, by AI is going to come and everyone's life is going to change and it is going to be dramatically different, you would have all been skeptical. AI kya hai? What is the big deal? Theek hai, there's Google Maps helps us to navigate from one place to the other. And Amazon tells me what I should buy. Theek hai, it's okay. Oh, fine. Netflix will tell me which movie I should watch next. But other than that, how is AI really making a difference in our world? Today, August 2023, you ask anybody that question, no one is going to say that. 1 year. 1 year has passed. The last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I don't know if you caught it, there was a lot of drama around superconductors, room temperature superconductors. Now it turned out that in all probability it is not correct. But had it been correct, then everything which we have been saying about quantum computing and supercomputing and free and infinite energy for everybody, no worrying about energy, free and infinite unlimited energy, may have been a possibility. Levitating trains, magnetic trains, could have been a possibility in 2023 itself. That's how fast things are moving. And these are just 2 examples. Quantum computing is happening. Blockchain, okay, most of blockchain is linked to cryptocurrency, which is probably, again, in most cases, a scam, so don't take it very seriously. But again, there's change happening. Clean energy. Clean energy is going to come. Before we know it, all the talk of climate change, which is a legitimate concern, and what is happening with global warming is a legitimate concern, but it is very possible that not just in your lifetimes, in 5 years or 6 years, there will be solutions to that, and there will be solutions that will come from technology. That's how fast things are changing. So can you imagine how much time we spend worrying about climate change? Can you imagine the very real possibility? It's a non-trivial possibility that 10 years from now we'll say, why were people worrying so much? Because we found a technological answer to that. And then there's healthcare, and there's biotech. Look around you. Look at how many people are worrying about or suffering with cancer and with other such diseases. And is it possible that 10 years from now we'll say that cancer doesn't happen anymore? I think it's very really, it's possible. If you hear what people are saying in the field of life sciences, what people are saying about the human lifespan, is it possible that aging will be reversed? Aging will be reversed. You won't age anymore. There's a lot of very interesting things happening if you read the literature. Maybe it won't happen in time for us, but for some of the younger people out here, very possible. By the time you're 60, you will sit and say that my grandparents and my parents and my great-grandparents had to worry about aging. I don't have to anymore. But then there's other things. You know, all technology is good and technology is bad, and it could be work for the good, it could work for the bad. You may not have a world if you can't control some aspects of it. You may have AI which turns into Terminator, and that's it, we're all plugged into a matrix. That's also possible. I think the point I'm trying to make is that the change that you're seeing around you is going to be part of your life. And there are two types of change that we are going to experience here in India. One is the very real thing that Mr. Shiv Kumar also talked about, the dramatic transformation in India itself that you're going to see. And the second is going to be technological change. So you live in exciting times, you've got to make the most of it. And I just wanted to share a few examples from my life as to how that looking 5 or 6 years in the future can sometimes prove to be helpful. I'm going to talk about 5 such inflection points, and you can drive whatever lessons you want to from them, and maybe I'll sum it up later. The first big turning point was, in my life, was a bet on India. And that is a bet that I hope all of you are taking, and I think it will be the correct bet to make. Because I was in 1991, I was a student, I was studying abroad. And in 1991, whoever left, bahar gayo, you studied in a good foreign university. What do you mean you're going to go back to India? India in 1991, economic reforms nahi hue the. The Prime Minister, Rajiv Gandhi had just been assassinated. India was pledging its gold. Why would you bet on a country like India? But then, look at history, look at the fact that 200 years ago, where was India? One of the richest and most developed country in the world. And for the people who bet in India and who had faith in India at that time, 20 years later, you can say with a complete confidence that anybody who had bet on India 20 years ago would today probably be doing better than if you'd done it elsewhere, But you could argue about it in our life because it was a slow process of change. But in your lifetimes and in the next 10 to 20 years, the transformation you're going to see because of that same factor of change that I was speaking about, exponential change happens slowly at first, and then the impact builds up, and then it goes faster and faster and faster. So what happens with technology is going to happen with India. And I'll tell you why it's going to happen with India. Because India is growing at 5-6% for 30 years now. Government A comes, government B comes, Finance Minister A is there, Finance Minister B is there, Prime Minister A is there, Prime Minister B is there. India has been growing at 5 to 6% for 30 years. Now, when you're a country that is $400 billion or $600 billion, and you're growing at 5 or 6%, it's a small impact. I mean, you can't see the impact that much. But now, if you're a $4 trillion economy, and now you grow at 6%, you're adding $250 billion to your economy every year. Now you'll see it. You'll see roads coming everywhere. You'll see flyovers coming everywhere. You'll see a rise in living. You'll see opportunities the like of which you will not experience. And 6 years from now, you'll be a $8 trillion economy. And now if you're growing at 5 or 6%, you'll be adding Belgium to your economy every year. You'll be adding Malaysia to your economy every single year. You'll be adding, and then you forecast that further, another 6 years. Then see what happens. So, lesson number one, bet on India. I did it, paid out well for me, and I'm glad we did it. Secondly, in whichever industry you're in, you've got to try and figure out what change and disruption is coming to your own industry and try and be that change, try and make that change. And three of the examples that I'm going to have now are to do with that. And I'm talking about the growth and the evolution of the media business. In 91, when I left England and I came back to India, everybody was unanimous on one point, every single person. India is a print media, and India means print. There is no such thing as broadcast television. TV news to hai hi nahi. And they were true, it is correct. There was no television in India in 1991. There was Doordarshan. You had to watch Doordarshan, and Doordarshan was entirely, Aaj Suchna aur Prasaran Mantri ne kaha. That was it. Suchna Prasaran Mantri ne kaha, aur Aaj Pradhan Mantri ne kaha. And that was television news in India in 91. But I came back and very obstinately, some of us were saying, nahi, we want to do television news. There were two organizations which were doing television news. One used to do a weekly show, which was NDTV on Doordarshan itself. And then there was News Track, which used to be video cassettes. The younger people in this audience will probably not even remember that day or believe that such a day existed. Television in news in India 30 years ago used to be video cassettes, VHS cassettes, News Track. Once a month you used to go to a video library and you would rent out a video cassette and you would take that video cassette and plug it into a VCR and you would watch the news. It's not science fiction, it did happen, ask your parents. It did happen, that's what news used to be in 1991-92. But that is where it became clear that people will take this and people will pick it up. So I did it, I plugged into News Track and then I joined NDTV and we worked. Was it a good decision to join broadcast journalism in 91 and 92 or was it a bad decision? Now you could argue and say correctly, 91 there was no broadcast decision, so why did you do it? It was a bad decision. But 5 years later, when the industry had matured and when everyone is suddenly talking about broadcast news and everyone is saying television news is the future, then it seemed like a very good thing in hindsight. And because we had done it early enough, companies like NDTV or India Today and others got the benefit for that. So if you're early enough, you may seem as you were taking the wrong decision, but it will pay off. Second example of that was when the internet came. In 2000, I said I'm going to stop doing 9 o'clock news or doing the daily news to that same extent, and I said I'm going to focus a bit on the internet. And we set up at that time a company called ndtv.com. And we had some crazy ideas in 2000. We said, bhai, what we should do is, we should have news on mobile phones. If mobile phones are there and they will eventually, people will get their news on mobile phones. Now, anybody who's below the age of 24 is saying, what is he talking about? Obviously, you would get your news on a mobile phone. What else could you possibly do? But 20 years ago, I promise you, it was considered an act of insanity to say that you're going to have news on mobile phones. Why? Because it cost 16 rupees to get an SMS. So we started a service. We said, type NDTV on your mobile handset, send an SMS, and you'll get the news headlines back. And people used to say, "Tum log pagal ho gaye ho kya? 16 rupees kaun dega to get the news headlines on your mobile phone? You guys are insane." And there was another mad idea that we had, which was to say, let's put video on the internet. Bhai, internet pe video chalega, online streaming, video on demand. You will be able to ask whatever you want and people will get it. Kids below the age of 24, I'm going on looking at you, I'm sorry, but again, kids below the age of 24 are saying, what are you saying? Obviously, Netflix, we know what Netflix is, we know what, Amazon Prime is. How else do you watch television excepting on the internet? But 20 years ago, it was considered insane because the internet was not, it was 64 kbps dial-up modems. That's the quality of the internet. How could you watch video on that? Now, was it a clever idea or a bad idea to say we should do news on mobile phones and video on the internet? Answer, for 5 years, I can tell you, the board of ndtv.com and probably the board of NDTV kept shouting at us, "Tum log kar kya rahe ho? Why are you wasting everyone's time? This is a really, really bad idea." But in 2006 and 2007, something very interesting happens. Data prices are falling suddenly. Mobile phones are more ubiquitous. And Steve Jobs gets up and holds up something and says, this is an iPhone, try it. It is really good. Now you have a nice screen and you can watch stuff on it. Now suddenly, all the work that had gone in for 6 years suddenly made sense, and ndtv.com took off and other internet companies took off and XYZ things happened. Third example, and I promise I'm going to be quiet very soon. The third example was 5-6 years ago, which Rekha and some others know about because I used to take their advice in this journey. 6 years ago, I left television news, as many of you know. So quit TV news completely, went into a basement and said, at some point, AI is going to come. And there's going to be new ways in which news and information will be circulated on the video news and information. A new path will come. A new way will come in which people can get the newscast, and we'll be able to do away with fake news and we'll have better ways of curating it. Now, was that a clever idea or a bad idea? I still don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you 6 years have passed. So we're at a very interesting inflection point. AI has come to that. Now we will see if some of the ideas that we've been working on Editorji are working or not. But I don't want to waste too much time talking about that because this is not a plug. I'm supposed to be giving you important pieces of advice for your life. But net, I don't know whether the third such gamble is going to work out or not, but the ability to look 6 years ahead and to take steps 6 years ahead is something that I would urge you to do. Because it is only if you're looking 5 or 6 years ahead, is that you will empower yourself with what you think you will need in your individual businesses. And on that note, it is not that the change will come from outside. The reason I quit NDTV and I quit television news to set up Editorji was because I happened to be doing an interview with the head of Google, Sundar Pichai. He'd come to India for something. I was doing an interview with him. And I said, this AI is all in the air. There's nothing specific happening. And he said, no. The AI revolution will come when people in individual industries will figure out, how do I use AI and disruptive technology to change my own business? When people in that business figure out how to do it, that's when change will come. And I think that's what we are seeing. I think that's what we are seeing in business after business, industry after industry, and that's where the real revolution will come from. Two last closing thoughts that I think I should leave you with. There is going to be one other crossroad. So there's going to be a rise and rise of India, which I don't think hopefully can be done away with. And there's going to be a rise and rise of technology, which I don't think can be done away with. The third sort of a thing which you're going to face, and the crossroads that some of you, especially those who are really young, are going to face, is where you will have to make some personal choices. Because it is not that the paths that we are on will always lead to good. Change happens. Change doesn't always mean there will be good outcomes of it. And that's why sometimes each of you is going to have to question yourself as to what path do I want to be on. And obviously, I know when I'm standing up here and talking as somebody who used to once be with television news, that's the question in everyone's mind. It always is. Whenever I'm standing somewhere and speaking, they're saying, "Bhai, ye sab to theek hai, but television news ko kya hua?" Right? I admit it. How many of you were thinking about that or being too polite to say it? How many of you think the quality of TV news has deteriorated a lot? I want to know who's not raising their hands and ask them why they... So, okay, this is a unique experiment which happens everywhere. Right? Every time I go, I am asked this question. And that just sort of shows that sometimes change isn't always for the good. And in the case of the TV news industry, unfortunately, that's what happened, right? The models changed. And from being able to, there was no subscription money coming in, then everything was on advertising, and advertising came from TRPs, and then everybody figured out that the only way to get TRPs was to yell and shout a lot, or to scream a lot, or to get other people to shout at each other, or to get a tantric into the studio and get the tantric to shout at somebody. Or if the anchor's a tantric, that's the best of it all, then you really get very high TRPs. So that's what essentially happened to that industry, which is why it slid. And that might happen to you. And then it's a question of your personal decision. I took a personal decision that I don't want to be part of the industry anymore, so I left. And others did too. But then, I mean, sort of in my case at least, I'm trying to say, okay, let me find an alternative to it, but you may be faced with that. So those are choices that you will have to make in your life. What is the importance you place on integrity, on ethics, on doing the right thing? That's a question that you will have to cross at some point. And the last and the final thing that I would do is, do enjoy. Enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy your career. Enjoy your life. You know, there's one life right now that we know of, for a fact. And there's no point you're living that life for 40 years saying, when I retire, I will have a good time. Because change is happening so fast, who knows what's going to happen 40 years from now. So while the going is good, enjoy what you're doing. Because that way you'll enjoy your life. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring convocation address. I request Mr. D. Shivakumar, past President AIMA, to declare the convocation closed.
I declare the convocation closed.
May I request Dr. Ganesh Singh, Director Officiating, Center for Management Education, to give the vote of thanks, please.
Mr. Vikram Chandra, Honorable Chief Guest, Founder, Editorji Technologies, Mr. D. Shivakumar, Past President AIMA, Operating Partner Advent International Private Equity and former Chairman PepsiCo, Dr. Bhim Rai Maitri, Chairman Board of Studies AIMA and Director IIM Nagpur, Ms. Rekha Sethi, Director General AIMA, respected members of AIMA Council, Board of Studies, the faculty, dear students, their families and friends, and eminent guests. It is an honor for me to express AIMA's gratitude to everybody present at this convocation. It is a proud occasion for the Center of Management Education. Today, our students have moved a step closer to realizing their dreams. The management qualifications they have received today are the foundations of potentially great careers. I am confident that they will make best use of the education they have received at AIMA and make a mark wherever they go. Today's students are the leaders of tomorrow, and they will determine the prospects of countries across the globe. In the current times, India and the whole world have witnessed dramatic shifts in technology-led economic developments having direct impact on businesses. There have been altering demands of managerial talent for emerging job roles in the new age economy. The students must develop the necessary skills to adapt to multidisciplinary roles, collaborate with multiple stakeholders, and show respect for diversity, inclusion, and equity. I am confident that these young men and women will use their skills not only to build great careers for themselves, but also to build a great country for all of us. Mr. Vikram Chandra, AIMA is grateful to you for gracing the convocation and presenting management qualifications to our students. It was a pleasure hearing your experiences and your career advice. Your talk would certainly help our students make wiser choices in life. Thank you very much indeed. I want to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Bhim Rai Maitri, Chairman, and all the esteemed members of AIMA Board of Studies for guiding us with invaluable inputs and suggestions. I am thankful to Mr. D. Shivakumar for sharing his encouraging and insightful thoughts. I am thankful to Director General AIMA for always providing wholesome support and guidance in our endeavors. I also thank AIMA Council and past President for their direction and support. Today is a good time to acknowledge the vital contribution of the faculty who perform their jobs with great diligence and commitment. I also thank admissions, marketing, and examinations team for their tireless efforts. They are the people behind the success that we celebrate today. Dear colleagues, thank you very much. I congratulate AIMA scholars on accomplishing their academic goals, and I am confident that they will do well in their careers. I wish you the best for the future. May I now request Mr. D. Sivakumar, past President AIMA, to present a memento to the chief guest, Mr. Vikram Chandra, and Dr. Bhim Rai Maitri, Chairman, AIMA Board of Studies. Thank you, sir. Now I would request Director General AIMA to present a memento to Mr. D. Sivakumar. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you indeed.
Thank you, sirs and ma'am. May I now request all to rise for the national anthem and remain standing till the academic procession leaves the auditorium. Let's rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
All are requested to remain standing while the procession leaves the auditorium now. The procession comprising of Chief Guest, Mr. Vikram Chandra, Mr. D. Sivakumar, past President AIMA, Mr. Bhim Rai Maitri, Chairman, Board of Studies, Ms. Rekha Sethi, Director General AIMA, Dr. Ganesh Singh, Director CME, Council members, past presidents, members of Board of Studies, AIMA directors, faculty members, and the Controller of Examination. With this, we come to an end of AIMA's 28th convocation. Let's join us for a high tea at IHC Lawns. Thank you so much.